So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is a gift from my husband. He gave it to me for Valentine's Day. I was very, very surprised, to be honest with you. I had told him that he had purchased me some expensive hair care for Valentine's Day, so I didn't expect anything, to be honest with you. And the reason I said that is because my husband and I can't surprise each other very often. So for Christmas and birthdays and those kind of holidays, we tend to let the other person buy their gift from us, because whenever we buy gifts, the other person usually knows what it is. It's been like that since almost since we've known each other, since about 2 or 3 weeks after we met. But he did surprise me this year with this coffee mug, which came with a nice big thing of Hershey's Kisses and this cute little balloon. Plus, he also brought me a rose with some baby's breath, you know, a traditional gift. And some Brock's Sweetheart candies, which I do like a lot. So today's tea is the Tiesta Tea Immunity Fireside Spice, a lovely tea that we all know I adore, and is perfect for today. This is my second attempt at filming this particular video, and when I filmed it yesterday, we had a nice sunny day. Today, you're going to be hearing thunder in the background because we have one drama queen of a storm going on out there. Anyway, let's give a taste of our tea and get going. It needs just a touch more sugar. I did try to go light on the sugar because I'm working on cutting it down. But it's a beautiful tea. It's a beautiful pink tea. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Almost like mulled wine or something. Very, very good. Anyway, so today is a Whole and Healthy Wednesday, and I've got a couple of things before we get into that. The first thing is a gift from my friend Tamara. She's the one that made the beautiful waterstone, I guess, necklace and earrings that I have. I'm not wearing them today. I'm wearing my gift from my friend Shade. She'll be linked down below. Tamara will be linked down below. We're getting started on this thing early. I can talk. Anyway, but she started making some actual charm earrings, and I saw a couple, and I really like them, and she let me pick a set out. So they arrived here today, Tamara. So let's pull these out. Oh, they feel bigger than I thought they would be. Oh, she put them in a real pretty little bag. Oh, she included something else. She included something else. I just love her work. I really do. Anyway, I'm excited. Wow. Okay, so, oh, wow. She included a couple of them. Tamara, really? Thank you. So she got me some paw print earrings. I have a little paw print that I'm waiting to get engraved. Hold on, I'm going to bring it by. I'll bring it in a minute. Hold on. Okay, so I got this as a freebie from one of my sites. And it's a little paw print with a heart. And I am planning to engrave one side with an older male cat that died a few years ago. His name was Wagner, and I plan to put his name and the years that we had him on it. And then my old kitty, Rogue, she's about 12 now, I think. We are preparing for her to probably, yeah, you know. And she's a baby, and I'm going to put her on the other side of this. And these earrings are perfect. They will go with my little paw print necklace. And yeah, this is. I'm sorry, my babies make me emotional. And I miss Wagner very, very much. And I'm very happy to have these earrings. And as soon as we get this engraved, I will have this whole set to wear. And I'm just, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll have an earring for each kitten too, so that'll be really nice. Thank you for that. And I think I may have actually mentioned it. I think these may have been the ones I picked. I can't remember now. I have a memory of a sieve. But I think these may have been the one I picked precisely for this reason, to go with this thing that I'm going to engrave. But she also sent the other set that I was looking at, and there's those, also kitties. So those are cute. I'm going to put those on. Yeah, I know this video is going to be a little bit longer because of all this. And I've got a couple of other notes. Oh, these are cute. These are so cute. And she sent, let me unravel this. She sent another one of her necklaces to go with it. So that is gorgeous too. You know what? I think I can actually wear this with my necklace that I'm wearing from Shade. This one's a little shorter. You can't really see it with this shirt, but there it is. Thank you so much, Tamaray. I really appreciate it. And she sent it in a beautiful bag. Like I said, I will link her down below so that you guys can go ahead and give her some business. I still wear the other necklace, and I still wear the other earrings, and her work is beautiful with the wrapping and all that stuff. So yeah, give her some attention, you know, along with my girlfriend Shade. I'd really, really appreciate it if you guys would take a look at what they have. Anyway, so now that I've got that out of the way and I'm slightly recovered from all the tears, or from the attempt to start crying, we will move on to today's a Whole Healthy Wednesday, and yeah, we're going to get into the new and old in just a minute. But there's a couple of things I wanted to address really quickly. First of all, first thing is, why aren't, well, basically they're both related to why aren't we back on the food? Because as you know, I took a break from talking about food specifically last week, and we're doing it again this week. So there's two reasons for that. And the first is that we've been getting kind of trolled, and I've done things to make it so that they can keep posted if they want to, but it doesn't need to bother you guys. Nobody needs to see that. And I'm kind of enjoying the peace and quiet. And I know that when I start talking about, you know, specific diets and things, people who love those diets are going to come out of the woodwork, and it's going to turn into one of those things. Now, I'm hoping that most of those people will be able to come and talk respectfully about it, but you know how it goes. If it wasn't a problem, we wouldn't have trolls in the first place, right? So that's one of the reasons. I'm just enjoying the peace and quiet, and I would like to keep that going for a little longer. But the second reason is both last week and this week, and probably several in the future, that's part of what this is all about, is going with things along my journey and what I'm learning and what I'm having to do. It's not that you guys have to do it, but I think that my experiences will hopefully help you guys with some of your experiences, even if they're going to be they're going to be different. So, but hopefully some of the things that I've learned will help you as well. And this one is coming out of the doctor appointment I had Friday, which was an interesting doctor appointment, so we'll be getting to that. But that's the other reason that we're not back on the food yet, that I had another experience that I wanted to share with you, and wanted to talk about self-advocating as a result. And hopefully I will not be doing this with my words through the whole video. One other thing, this is, like I said, a second attempt. My previous attempt became a disaster because I made a mistake when I was doing the actual makeup, and the tail end of the video became trying to fix the mistake and became very disjointed. So I figured, I was originally going to post it, but I figured that it was probably wiser to, you know, just start over and hopefully have a better video to begin with. So let's hope that that happens this time, because it's Tuesday. This goes up tomorrow. I don't have a whole lot of time to play around. So, and I'm going to apologize for the fact that it's going to be probably a bit longer from our intro, and hopefully we won't mess things up in the process. I'm sure you guys can hear that. I gotta tell you, moving down here from California, we had some real drenchers in California, but we very rarely got what I call a drama queen storm. And when we drove out here, because yes, we drove out here, and we hit, you know, the southern states, the southeastern states, one of our first or second nights in the area, not in Georgia specifically, but in the area, we got a doozy of a storm, and it freaked us all out. Like, yeah, it was just never seen anything like it. And now I know that in the wintertime, the South gets some real doozies, okay? And this is not as bad as some of them, but yeah, we're probably going to be hearing a lot of that thunder through this. I hope y'all don't mind. Anyway, so from now, let's go ahead and get into our new and old. And our new and old is going to be a little different this time. The last time I did this look, I worked with a Violet Voss palette that I love, and I worked with a couple of other things. I can't remember them all now. I did try to bring in the Lorac, but like I said, the whole thing was just such a bad disaster that yeah, just the filming itself was terrible. So I'm going to do something a little different today, and we're going to do almost an entirely ColourPop today. The foundation won't be ColourPop, my powder won't be ColourPop, and my mascara won't be ColourPop. Those are the specific ones that I can think of that won't be ColourPop. But a whole lot of the rest, ColourPop. Anyway, so we've got some new and old. For new, something arrived just today, and that is the It's My Pleasure palette. I did see this as being a smaller palette, but it's even smaller than I thought it would be. However, the colors are gorgeous. This is in the purples and pinks that most of the people in my Facebook group know. I absolutely adore this. Adore this kind of color scheme. So, going to work with this as part of our new. Also that arrived today that I'm going to use for our new is this new highlighter. This is in the shade Like to Watch, and I actually swatched it. You can see that I swatched it. It seems a little light, but we'll see what it does on my skin. But it's a gorgeous shade. I might end up using the bronzer, but I suspect this is a little on the dark and red side for the season and the foundation I'll be using. This is in the color Rodeo Drive. It is like my favorite. It is my favorite bronzer, but it's honestly better for me in the summer, so we'll see what happens. And we're gonna supplement the It's My Pleasure with my now completed singles from ColourPop. And there's new and olds in here. This arrived today. This is new. This one's fairly new. This is fairly new. All the greens and stuff in here is on the older side. This is new. So we're going to play with these as well. I want to do kind of a golden or golden purple look. So that's going to be our new and old from our eyeshadow. I am playing around right now with a new foundation. This is the Pacifica Alight Clean Foundation. I use this on a live in the FB group. If you're interested, the information to join the FB group is down below. And then I played with it yesterday using my NYX Hydra Touch primer. But I do know that this one is a little on the light side. I mean, it's a touch on the light side. But as a result of that, what I've decided to do today is I'm using just a moisturizer. I am using this Cetaphil Daily Facial Moisturizer. Also a newish product. I had tried it as a regular moisturizer and found out I really didn't like it for that. So I'm going to use it for replacing my primers if I ever run out of primers. Ever run out of primers. Ever. I know this is a bit light, so I wanted to use the moisturizer under it because I'm going to try to use my old Fit Me matte and poreless pressed powder over it to see if that'll help darken it a bit. But the thing about this powder is because it's matte and poreless, it does make my skin look a little drier, especially now in the winter. This would be really good in the summer when my face is producing more oils. So new and old on the face as well. And yeah, so I think that's it. We've also got the ColourPop Brow Boss. I'll be using a ColourPop brow pencil, and I'll be using some ColourPop lipstick and blush and all that other stuff. I tried using my concealer again, and it just set everything off, and my eyes have been a bit aggravated since. So hopefully this isn't going to be too big of a deal. For my Facebook people who saw my live, the story and everything is going to sound a bit familiar. For that, I apologize. But it's part of the reason why I'm doing the self-advocating thing today. I'm going to start with this one here under my brow. Nice, beautiful light color here. So, Friday I had a doctor's appointment, and like I said, it was kind of interesting. And interesting, good and bad. There were a lot of good things about the clinic that I enjoyed. For example, I actually got a mammogram on Friday. I wasn't planning on a mammogram on Friday. Any other place that I go to where I would have to get a mammogram, I'd have to get a referral and go to a completely different place. This particular clinic has been apparently upgrading itself to try to have as much of the outside screenings that we need in the clinic, at the clinic, because it makes it easier to just do it right then if they have an opening, and people are more likely to get their screenings done if they don't have to go running off to some other place to do them. That makes perfect sense to me. I really enjoyed it. They used a kind of a tablet type thing for the check-in, so you don't have to fill out a ton of paperwork. You just go through the tablet, which I thought was very interesting as well, and made it very quick and easy. This color is, well, I will say, this color is showing up. You guys may not see much of it, but it is showing up. Nothing's going to show up nearly as good since I don't have the concealer underneath. So there was some very good things in there. However, I had issues with my doctor, and there are things that I should have said at the time that I didn't. And the next time I go in, I will not be seeing this doctor. So to give you a bit of a backstory, I'm going to try to abbreviate it, but my husband and I were on the ACA insurance for a couple of years. This is our first year in 3 or 4, however long the ACA has been going on, I guess 3, that we've been off of it because the insurance got so bad. So our first year on the ACA was good. It was very, very good. We were able to, our doctor appointments cost us $1, and we were able to get on our medications, also after years of being off of medication, and it was fairly affordable. Anything that we had to pay for got billed to us after the insurance paid, all of that stuff. And then the GOP started messing with the ACA. And as a result, the newer plans have been crap. So for the last 2 years, our plan has been a plan from the ACA that we had to pay all the out-of-pocket costs first before they cover anything. Now, if I had $6,000 to pay my out-of-pocket costs, I wouldn't need insurance except for catastrophic. So we've been off our medications. We haven't seen a doctor in 2 years. We've been off our medications for at least 18 months, however long it took for our medications to run out. I couldn't afford to go and pay $100 or more to a doctor to get a prescription. And when I saw this doctor, one of her first comments when we were talking about the insurance, not the insurance, but the medications, I told her I'd got them from my previous doctor. But I'd been off of them for a couple of years, and she just looked at me and said, why have you been off of them for a couple of years? So I made that explanation. She looks down at the medication and says, but this medication should be free. Well, doctors aren't free, which is what I said to her. I said, the appointments aren't free. You have to have a prescription to get the medication. And she didn't say much of it. She didn't say anything about that. And honestly, if it had been just that, I would have just sort of let it go, because I have noticed that doctors don't seem to understand that. When a lot of doctors, not all doctors, a lot of doctors don't understand that you cannot magically make $100 or more come up to pay for a doctor's appointment. My oldest daughter has insurance, and she still has to figure out ways to come up with the money to make her doctor appointments. So yeah, it's not that easy. And of course, if you have crap insurance that wants you to pay for everything up front, you're not going to see a doctor. I'm going to use this one. I absolutely adore this color. I've been using, you know what? I'm going to use a new one. I'm going to use a new one, a really new one. This is relatively new, but these guys are newer. So, I'm going to use this lighter one here, and I'm going to put that on the inner corner of my eye. Okay, so that was the first problem. Honestly, like I said, not that big of a deal. Kind of a big deal, but not that big of a deal. Oh, this isn't going to show up as much on my skin. I don't know if that's because of the problems I'm having. I mean, it's kind of there. It's kind of there. I don't know if that's the problems I'm having, or if it's, I don't know, the color. I very rarely have problems with ColourPop shadows, but I'm having to readjust how I apply things. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of this on the other one, and then we're going to move to the darker orange and see if that helps. Anyway, so there was that. And I will give her credit for one thing. She never directly fat shamed me, but she managed to do it in a different way. Let me explain that. So we were talking about both of these relate to weight. So the first thing was she asked about exercise. I told her I'm aiming to lift 3 days a week, and she says, well, you need your cardio. And I said, well, I dance with dishes almost every night, 5 to 6 days a week. And she just looked at me, and then she said, you know, you're going to need more than that. She didn't ask me, well, how long do you do it? Is it 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and a half? But she didn't ask me for time. She didn't ask me how many calories I burned. She didn't ask me if I get my heart rate up or anything. She just said, oh, you're going to need to do more than that. And I honestly should have looked at her and said, no, I don't. But instead I said, well, when it's no longer as cold, I'll go out walking. And she said, well, that would be better. And I also tried to show her at one point my phone. Okay, so I'm going to use the darker color now over that, because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But we're going to try the darker color. The darker color isn't doing much either right now. Like I said, I don't know if this is because my eyes are irritated. So we're going to go to the color I love. We're going to put that over it. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, so I've had this color work before. I think it's just because my eyes are irritated. I do think it's starting to show up. It is starting to cover better with this particular color. So we'll just keep with this. But anyway, I did try to show her my phone. I do wear a Fitbit, and the Fitbit does record my activity, and I do have that on my phone. So I tried to show her that, and she barely even glanced at it. She didn't even try. She didn't even try. That irritated me even more, because I was not only saying I do exercise, but I was trying to show her how I do exercise and what that exercise looks like and all of that stuff. And the fact that I burn a lot through the day. I really do. Most days I'm moving all the time. I am going to use a new color out of here, and it's going to be this purpley pinky red. I'm going to put that on the outside. I'm going to use a different brush. So that bothered me a lot, and but again, I should have said something and I didn't. But what really got me was later I don't even know how we came on the subject. She didn't actually say you need to lose weight. She never looked at me and said you are morbidly obese and you need to lose weight. She never ever did that. Not specifically. However, somehow we got on to having to lose weight or losing weight, and I'm already losing color. But we never got on that topic, but somehow we got on losing weight, and I mentioned that I had lost a lot of weight, and then menopause hit, and it got really, really frustrating, and that's when I switched my focus to lifting and building my muscle instead of losing weight. And she looks at me and says, well, just because it's frustrating is no reason to stop trying. Yes it is. But she didn't even bother to ask me how long I'd been trying. I tried for 3 fucking years to lose weight, okay? 3 years, doing all the right things. I was tracking my food. I was eating less than I burned, supposedly. I even went from eyeballing it to measuring my food. And nothing was happening. 3 years. For 3 years, nothing happened. And she didn't ask about it. She just went on to say, no, you should keep trying anyway. That tells me that she's not up on a lot of the current research. And some of the current research says that being aggravated and stressed out about losing weight can be as bad for your health as being overweight. I mean, you're making yourself miserable. How can that be good for your health anyway? I love this color. I absolutely love this color. Everything on the outside looks like it's doing well. It's just my inner corners that are having issues, so I will just fix those later today. Before I come back. When I finish my face, I'll fix that up. But anyway, that I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Okay, so we're going to take this dark color. Oh, I want to try this rare minimum. That's so beautiful. But I'm going to take this dark color, Chicklet, and that's going to, well, actually, no. Come to think of it, I'm going to use that to deepen the crease. I'm going to take this color, Do or Do. I'm going to use that in the crease and for my outer little thing that I do. So, you know, I really should have said something to her at the time. I should have stood up for myself. I didn't. However, when I choose to go back, and I do have to go back, because when she gave me my blood pressure medicine, she only gave me a month's worth. She wanted to make sure that it is doing what it needs to do for my blood pressure before she gives me a 3-month supply. I have no problem with that. But speaking of medication, there is one other thing that she did that also bothered me. Now, in this particular case, it looks like she may have been right, but it is still an issue the way she did it. For the last several months, I have been fighting some sinus stuff on and off, and honestly, I thought it was a sinus infection that was coming and going, or I was managing to kick back and then it would get worse and come back. So when we talked about this, I told her I thought I had a sinus infection. And I guess she looked at my temperature in my chart, and she listened to my lungs, and she goes, well, there's nothing wrong with your lungs, and I'm not seeing any other signs of a sinus infection. So it's probably just allergies, and we're going to give you a nasal inhaler, and you're to take allergy medicine. Now, on the one hand, The nasal inhaler is helping immensely, okay? We have this huge storm in here, and normally this stuff sends me to bed so that I can't even get out. Especially when my blood pressure is out of control. The agony that I get in when storms roll through, they're migraine level. And most of the time they are so migraine level they do not respond to acetaminophen or ibuprofen or anything. I mean, I literally have to load up on pills just to reduce the pain. The nasal inhaler has been helping. So, she was probably correct. However, I have had sinus infections where it doesn't hit my lungs and I don't get a fever. It's all in here. You know, I've got the green problems and I can't breathe and I'm in pain. And the fact that she dismissed that, I mean, the whole appointment, that, the weight, the exercise, all of that, just, it felt very dismissive to me. Well, let me put it this way. We are becoming more and more aware about how doctors treat women, particularly overweight women, and the risks that that puts on women's lives. I am now going to use Chiclet to deepen that all up. I don't think she's up on much of the research about weight loss and how losing weight for most people, not all people, so I don't want any of you who are trying to lose weight to despair, but for most people is a pointless prospect, I guess. And they gain the weight back, and that, you know, that up and down on your weight, actually, I need the other brush. That up and down on your weight actually, is very damaging to your metabolism. It actually contributes to you being heavier the more times you try to diet. Yeah, that's better. That's better. That most people who lose weight gain it all back and then some. And even those who don't gain it all back gain at least some of it back. And so I don't think she's up on that recent research. There has been indications that doctors who try to bully, encourage, however you want to phrase it, their patients into losing weight are actually, whether they know it or not, doing more harm than good. I mean, because they're authority figures. And if your doctor says you're going to lose weight and you're not advocating for yourself, you're going to try to lose weight, you're going to get frustrated, and all the stuff. Just go with all the stuff that goes with that nightmare. Okay, we need to brighten up a little. And I think this color ended up being a little duller than I had intended it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this color Earth Shine and I'm going to put it across the middle. And it's not showing up. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Except it's not as bright as I thought it would be. It's really bright in the pan. I'm going to try this little pink over it. See if that helps. I might be going the wrong route with that. I mean, this is not as nearly as much as a disaster as the other one, though. Thank goodness. Okay, I think that lightened it a bit. Just a touch. So, we're going to try our bare minimum. If one thing... Oh, that's so nice and soft. Let's see what that does. Okay, the color is about the same. But it's got more shine to... Oh, I like that. I like that. You know, I'm going to take some of that color that I put on my under my brow. I'm going to put that over the middle. Just trying to brighten it up because it seems a little dark. I mean, it's not horribly dark, but it does seem a little dark. So I think I need a little bit in there to just lighten all that up a bit. Just a dusting. I'm going to take this color right here and brush that underneath my lower lash line. Need something a little deeper though. I'm going to go over it with this purple here. Let's see if that helps. At least along the outer edge. Ooh, ooh, okay. Oh, I like that. You guys won't see it much, but I like it. I like it. Alrighty, so anyway, getting back to our story as I poke my eye out, I actually was made aware of needing to self-advocate years ago, but it has become more apparent in recent days. And basically in that appointment, when I first became aware, and I never went back to this doctor either, I had a doctor with he's my husband at the time, he's my ex-husband now. We had called him into the back room after my checkup and everything, and he came in, and when the doctor gave his findings and all of that stuff, he didn't talk to me. He talked to my husband. And to me, that was really shocking, because it was like, wait a minute, this has to do with me. Why are you talking to him? Now, he thinks it's because he was working on being a certified nursing assistant, a CNA. But it doesn't matter. I'm the patient. I was an adult. I was in my right mind. I answered all the questions they asked, everything, you know, all of that stuff. And to me, it was just kind of appalling that he chose to tell my husband what I needed to do. No, you tell me. Like I said, I never went back to that doctor, but that was my first experience with it. And then this experience being dismissed, and that knowing that women are dying because doctors don't listen to them. Women are dying because women don't advocate for themselves. They don't fight for making a partnership in their medical, their health with their doctors. And it's time that we start doing that. It's time you start doing that. So that's what this is all about. This is about advocating for yourself. I am going to take this color here, and I'm going to try to put that a bit underneath the brow, and then we're going to be done with the eyes. We're going to move on to cleanup. I got a little bit of fallout to deal with, not a lot. I think the problem might partially be that I'm working more with bronzy oranges than golds, and that's why it's not quite looking right, but we'll put that up there. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to clean up. We'll do some cleanup. I'm obviously going to have to do some repair work before we come back. This look didn't come out nearly as good as I had hoped, but it's not the disaster that yesterday was. Yesterday, I looked like a bruised mess. I had used a black, and it just, yeah, it was a mess. It was a mess. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to self-advocate, especially if you're a woman, and especially if you're overweight. I don't want to just say obese, because I think, I'm not even sure where the point is where doctors stop listening to people who are overweight. But there is a point where you can be 10 pounds overweight and they're like, no, you're fine. But get into the 20s or 30s or whatever, and it seems to vary per doctor, but it starts to become a problem with having them listen to you. Okay, so we're using this to clean up the line. I don't need to do a lot of, I do have some glitter fallout that I do need to cover. And I need to bring it in like this to help take care of some of my shadows. Shadows. Like that. So we women in particular, anybody who is overweight, we have to start advocating for ourselves. We have to start trying to insist that our doctors, one, listen to us, and two, make our health decisions a partnership. I know it's easy to just sit there and go, okay, doctor, because if you're like me, you kind of see doctors as authority figures. I mean, they've gone to school for it, right? So presumably They're supposed to know more than you do about health and all that stuff. Well, let me tell you something. That's not necessarily true. I have seen, especially lately, especially since fibromyalgia became a thing, there are, unless doctors are keeping up on all the research, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think anybody can keep up on all the health research. And of course, we keep seeing new stuff that's not quite out there yet. So unless doctors are on top of all that, there's going to be things they don't know. And the biggest thing they don't know is, you know, your life experience. Does your life experience trump science? Not necessarily. I mean, there are times when you don't vaccinate because you have a compromised immune system. But in general, you're going to want to vaccinate if you're sane. Because the science says vaccines help prevent diseases, not just for you, but also for the people around you. If you're like me, though, because of all of that, it is sometimes easier to be quiet and not say anything because they're an authority figure, they've been through school, they've been through training, they've been through whatever. But I'm telling you right now, we're seeing more and more cases where not talking, we're not speaking up and insisting on being a partner in your health is becoming deadly. Women are dying. And so being silent can make you sicker. It could lead to your death. We have doctors who are blaming everything on weight. We are seeing women die from cancers that could have been taken care of if doctors hadn't. They could have survived if doctors hadn't blamed the pain or discomfort and whatever else was going on weight. We gotta speak up. We gotta speak up for ourselves. We've got to advocate for our own health. We've got to find ways to either work with our doctors to make them partners in our health, or we need to find new doctors. And I know for some places that's hard to do, but it's your life. It's your health. In some ways, the doctor has to live with it if something very serious were to happen to you because he didn't listen to you. But you are the one who really has to live with whatever the results are or die from whatever the results are. And that is the biggest issue right there. We as women need to stand up and say, you need to stop blaming my weight. You need to stop acting like it's histrionics because, I don't know, women take pain better, whatever. We don't complain as much. So when we do complain, it seems like out of place or something. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is, but I do know that we need to insist on doctors that will work with us. You have to find a way to step up and actually say, yes, I know you've had all that. I mean, even if it comes to the point where you have to take in a stack of research to them and say, look, the only thing is you have to make sure it comes from legitimate sources. Honestly, I would start off with, look, you know, like for me, honestly, I should have looked at her and said, no, I'm not going to keep trying. I tried for 3 years. Wait. I want to work on my health at any weight because weight loss is not going to be a permanent thing. I've already regained half of what I've lost. And I've channeled my energies into being healthier. That's why I'm lifting weights. We are working on our diet. She didn't even ask about my diet. We're working on our diet. We are working on ways to be healthier without focusing on losing weight, which study after study shows, research shows, most people don't keep off anyway, and the yo-yoing and the frustration of trying to keep the weight off is as bad as for you as being overweight. I should have said those things. My solution is to go to a different doctor, and hopefully that'll help. You need to find the solution that works for you, and you need to advocate for yourself, because it's your life on the line. I want you all to be happy and healthy and living your best life. And the best way for you to do that is to make sure you're advocating for your health. Alrighty, so I am going to go and finish my face. I think I possibly crossed over at some point in this last section. I do try to segment my filming. I may have crossed over and missed a part. Hopefully I haven't, and hopefully this will all still make sense even if I did miss a part. But I will be back. It'll be about 2 seconds for you, but I'm telling you guys it'd probably be about an hour for me. I need to finish my face and I need to take care of my hair. So, be back in about 2 shakes. So this is our completed look. I did have to do quite a bit of touching up. My eyes are still watering like madmen. Yeah, if this hadn't been needed to be done today so that I could have it up in time for Wednesday, I would have given them a break for another day or two before filming again, because seriously, we're looking at a real mess. But I did find that a lot of the colors, what I ended up doing is I ended up using a sponge tip applicator. I have several disposable ones, and yeah, my hair's being very happy right now. I have several disposable ones, and I did find that some of those colors applied better with that. Don't know if that's because of what's been going on with my eyes. I don't know if that's just the colors themselves. I'll have to give my eyes a break and let you know. However, one major change that I did, well, not a major change, one change that I did was after I reapplied this color and this color on the eye, instead of using one of these pinks, I used this silver to brush up the middle, and I think that gave a much better lid color. I am going to have some spots on the inner corners of my eye, but here is the final look. Hopefully you can see all that. Hopefully you can see all that. I think it's pretty, other than the fact that my wings are completely out there. Anyway, so to get back really quickly, I think I've pretty much summed everything up. Advocate for yourself, basically. Try to make your appointments with your doctors a partnership, not them telling you what to do. And I know sometimes it is hard to stand up for yourself, especially since we as women are basically told not to do that. We're supposed to be kind and accommodating and all of those other things, gentle and sweet and all those things, and so sometimes, especially for us older women, I notice my daughters don't have as much trouble as I do, but for some of us older women, it can be very, very difficult to advocate for ourselves, but we need to, because in the end, it's our lives at stake. And yeah, so try to find a way to advocate for yourself. I think for women that have conditions that are newer or rare or whatever, I think for some of them it's a little easier to do, because what their doctor is telling them does not correspond with their experience. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the ladies who have fibromyalgia can verify that, especially during, 4 or 5 years back, when this was, not meaning it negatively or in any way, but when this was a new thing, when it was a thing, and the thing was for doctors to sit there and go, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I think a lot of them can let you know that, yes, you need to know your conditions, you need to know your body, and sometimes you need to fight for what is right for your body. And so you need to advocate. You need to protect your health, protect your life, and not just your physical health. That's one of the reasons I think we have to start educating doctors, obviously, a little bit on the research that's going on with weight and losing weight and those kind of things now, because a lot of them just don't know. They're not keeping up on that research. They've been told that being overweight is the worst thing that can happen to a person and that needs to be fixed. And we need to tell them that that's not necessarily true. And sometimes trying to fix that overweight thing is as bad or worse than just trying to be healthy at whatever weight you're at. So that's it for today, hopefully. I rambled on to no end in the first video, I'm telling you, and just repeating stuff. So I'm going to move on now. I hope you like what you've seen, and that if you're not subscribed, you will subscribe. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell to know when I upload. I currently upload 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And occasionally we have a bonus video. We had a bonus video in February. We're probably going to have a bonus video in April, I think is the next one that's supposed to come in. Possibly March, but you never know. We never know. I'm hoping it'll warm up soon and we'll start seeing some bonus videos from my garden, hopefully. Crossing my fingers. Gonna have to do a lot of juggling to get that to work out, because this is the rack where I normally do my garden. Ain't no room there now, so we're gonna have to fix something. And if you are one of my notification squad, do check your bell and your subscription. People are getting knocked off of both. And so you want to make sure that you have got your subscription and your notification bell up to date. And if you do not subscribe, well, you know, we'd be kind of sad, but we do hope you'll come back again. And if you do come back again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Now, honest disclaimer, this got very cold. It has been about an hour and a half. We had lots of drama. The storm knocked out the power for a short minute. And so, yes, this got very cold. I did reheat it a little bit, not by much, in the microwave. It is kind of in the lukewarm to cool area now. I think it's going to be okay. Like I said, this is one of those teas that I just really enjoy, and I suspect it's really good on the lukewarm to cold side. So, here we go. Okay, it's better warm. It's better hot. It's not horrible. It's okay. We'll go with it's okay. I like it. I will probably finish this up. But definitely a tea that's better hot, like a mulled wine kind of tea, I think. I'm looking a bit of a hot mess. But anyway, this whole thing has been a hot mess. And with that, we are definitely done for the day. I hope you all have a good one. Bye.